Firstly, if you find out that someone is cheating on you, I want you to realize that there is no wrong or right thing to do. Okay, whether you choose to stay or whether you choose to go, all depends on so many things. You can't just opt and leave if you've been with someone for 50 years to some people, but to some people, they feel it's a ground, whether it's been with you for 20 years or 25 years. I don't care. Once you've cheated once, I am stepping out of this relationship or of this marriage, So there's no wrong or right thing to do at that instance. The only wrong thing I perceive you can do is being irrational. That is taking decisions or performing certain acts that you would later regret. Things like putting it out on social media, things like attacking the person physically or bringing your children into it. Oh, children, come see your father is no. Things you know that you are going to regret later on. To me, those are the things one should not do. So whether you stay or whether you leave, it's not actually wrong or right. It depends on so many factors. Because I've always been a proponent of, if I ever catch my partner cheating, I would leave. But you know what? It happened to me and I stayed. I stayed not the first time. I stayed not after the second time, not even after the fifth time. I stayed. I saw these things consistently. And you know what? I stayed. Despite all my preaching, all my decisions, when I was much younger in age, I'm like, if I ever find out I'm walking out, it happened to me. And I stayed. I stayed. I stayed because not because I was desperate. I had my reasons. This person, it's actually difficult when you're dealing with someone quite a narcissist, The person comes to you. I feel there's this hard narcissism and soft narcissism, it's usually, it's more easy to leave someone that comes at you hard than someone that comes at you soft. When someone hurts you and is always sorry, eager to please, eager to apologize, eager to swear never to do it again, those people are actually very difficult to leave, because they keep you emotionally in a place where you constantly pity them. This is a story for another day, but that was actually where I found myself, someone that's not feeling, he's not being, righteous about it or asking you, oh, why did you go through my phone? Or why did you go to this place when you were in this place? I was dealing with someone quite sorry, always sorry, always eager to apologize, always eager to want to be better. I promise I'll do better. You could help me be better. That's someone I had to deal with. So leaving was quite confusing for me. So this may be a topic I might talk about some other time in my life, soft narcissism. But what I'm trying to say is whether you choose to leave or choose to stay depends entirely on your experiences, particularly with your partner. Now, what should you do if you find out that your someone close to you is cheating on someone you love so much? Please, I advise you to not tell the other party. Rather, you go to the party that is perpetuating such unfaithfulness or is cheating, and then you pour your emotions on the person respectfully. You say, hey mom, hey dad, hey uncle, or hey friend, you are doing this, and I want you to realize that I would never look at men the same way because of what you've done, or I would never look at women the same way because of what you've done. I want you to realize that what you've done is not only going to affect me now, but rather it's going to also have a futuristic impact on my life, on how I trust, on how I'm loyal, on how I see a particular gender, so that they know that there is a repercussion for what they're doing, that what they're doing will not only affect the partner that they're in a relationship with, but it also affects the people around them, particularly their loved ones, their friends, people that care about their relationship in general. And then the second thing I want to talk about is why people cheat. And I need you to realize that it's not about you, okay? People cheat for all kinds of reasons. Someone would cheat because his wife is always around in the house and he's bored. He feels choked. Someone would cheat because her husband is always busy. Someone would cheat because his wife is always busy, and someone would cheat because his wife is always around. Someone would cheat because his wife doesn't cook and the other lady cooks. Someone would cheat on her husband because he's too rich and he doesn't have her time, and the poorer guy that's getting her attention because he's not so rich, he has her time. All sorts of reasons come in for cheating. You're bored, you're too excited, or this person is always putting you on edge. You need to calm down. I've once heard someone say, I cheated because my wife is too happy. She feels to look at the negative part of life like a normal human being. I mean, what do you want to be sad? Like you're cheating on your wife because she's too happy. Well, that aside, I want you to realize that it's not because something is wrong with you or something is wrong with your mom or your dad or your friend or you as a child. No, the person is cheating because he or she wants to cheat. It has nothing to do with you or where you're from or whatever it is you're doing. Particularly, what I like to say is, if you feel this way, have you met me about it? Have you told me, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, and it makes me feel like that, or it makes me feel like going outside our relationship or even outside our marriage, you know? So it's not about you. It's not about what you do, how you are, how you look. It's not about if you're slim or you're fit or you're not fit. It's just that the person wants to cheat, particularly when they have not spoken to you about things that are pushing them or likely to push them outside your relationship or your marriage. Now, the final thing I'd like people to know is that you are dealing with a human being. There's this book I'm reading and it's called The State of Affairs by Esther Perel, Perel. That's her surname. And I feel that book has given me an insight, much, much more deeper and closer insight as to why people cheat, how people cheat, why people cheat, and actually how to deal with it. So I recommend that particular book. And if there's anything I've actually learned thus far from that book and from everything in general, it's that people take, this one person and they want to make that person everything, He'll be your comfort. He'll cause you to be inspired. He'll put you on the edge. He'll cause you to be adventurous, cause you to be religious. He'll cause you to be happy. He'll cause you to be meek, to be humble. One person cannot afford you all these things. One person, because he or she is just a human being like you. We take all our emotions and we want one person to give it to us. That is when you begin to place unnecessary, power or unnecessary expectation of all your emotions and all your wants in one person. I want you to realize that when you lessen your expectations with people, I'm not saying we should lessen our expectations with people so that they can have the right to cheat, or I'm not saying that you have the right to cheat or you should go outside your marriage because you're just a human. No, what I'm saying is we place a lot on one person and then expect them not to mess up. And when they mess up, you realize that your world crumbles. I would say this, even if you're married, I'm just being honest, even if you're married to a person, have some emotion still in you. Do not bestow all your emotion, all your trust, all your loyalty on one person, because this person is a human being and because this person can mess up. And when you realize you don't expect everything from one person, you realize that, oh, I'm human as this person just is human. I don't expect her to be fat and slim at the same time. I don't expect her to be tall and short at the same time. I don't expect her to be adventurous and phlegmatic in nature at the same time. So you excuse your spouse or you excuse your partner for having from having things that you ordinarily would like but they do not have. So you realize, oh, my husband is rich and I'm enjoying his money, but I also need to realize that he may not have the time. So you don't expect your husband to be so rich and provide you all the necessary and beautiful things of life and expect him to still have your time. He should create time for you, but you should also realize that everything that has an advantage also has a disadvantage. Do not put all your expectations. You can't, one person can make you high and low. One person can bring you up, and there are particular and pertinent attributes to a person. So you should appreciate the person, how the person is, and stop overindulging the person with so much expectation. Stop. The one person can't be your everything. You cannot. Marriage, relationship, the ring has become an emotional consecration. This is where I pour all my emotions at. I'm hungry, you get me food. I'm hungry, you cook for me, you iron for me, you clothe me, you provide me with, you nourish my whole body. Like, why would you even expect one person to nourish you alone? You depend on this one person for food. You depend on this one one person for spiritual upliftment. You depend on this one person for emotional compatibility, for emotional stability. This is just a human being. When you lessen your expectation, you actually even make the person calmer, and then it actually brings you to the realization that you're also dealing with a human person, you know. And this is how I feel we should deal with this topic of unfaithfulness, of cheating. I really hope this particular story of mine and this particular things I've shared resonates with someone. It makes you stop asking those questions. It makes you look at your partner kinder, you know, realize that this is a human being just like you. And if per se you ever find yourself in a situation where you are being cheated on, or you know someone you love is being cheated on, I hope this message helps you realize that what to do in such a situation. There's nothing right or wrong to do in that situation, except you're being irrational, which would be wrong. But whether you choose to stay or whether you choose to not stay is right, depending on who you are, what you've been through with the person, your personal decisions. Okay, don't let people shame you because you stayed in a relationship after you've been cheated on, and don't let people shame you because you walked out of a relationship, let's say a month in, just because you found out your spouse cheated on. What to do or what to not do in that instance depends entirely on you. And if you ever find out someone you love or someone you care about is being cheated on, rather you meet the party that is offending and tell the person how you feel and the repercussions of that person's action in your life in the long run, and realize that it is just not about you. People cheat just because they want to cheat. And I want to thank you, Viola, for giving us this platform to share our stories. I hope to share much more stories. I have had a lot of experiences I would love people to learn from. Keep doing the good work, and God bless you.